Welcome back to Close Up on San Diego Business Radio Show. Glad to have you here with us this week.
Yeah, I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We're here with our first guest today, Mr. Walt Fegley from Reno Contracting. Welcome, Walt.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Tell us about Reno. What does Reno do? I think a lot of us know the name, but may not know a lot about you. So tell us more.
Well, we're a commercial general contractor. We've been Reno Contracting. We're in our 21st year. We really have tried to focus on core values of being straightforward, honest, and having long-term business relationships. And that has worked very, very well. Obviously, we've had to change up a few things in the last couple of years, but we continue to be successful.
Right. Well, general contracting can lead us a lot of different directions. What type of projects do you typically work on?
Well, we've done an awful lot of office and campus. For example, Diamond View Tower in the right field of the ballpark. Probably one of our more notable projects, 15-story building. We had a heck of a good time there. We just went through the baseball season. It was a little bit of a problem. Everybody was parked up on the 13th floor watching the games. But, you know, I've often talked about our people, and I think that's the biggest single difference. Obviously, we're local. We've got long-term trusted relationships with architects, engineers, vendors, subcontractors. But the people I've hired, well-educated, very, very talented, but the additional that they give, the character of who they are, and the fact they're going to take care of you. And I think they really are able to convey that to our clients, to the architects. I mean, we're collaborative by nature. I think it's the best way to build. But you got to start with a really strong team that wants to be collaborative and do an excellent job. And we've got a company full of people that are like that.
You know, one of the unique things I see in contracting, because I was involved many years ago, is most contractors are great tradesmen who want to get into business for themselves. You know, it's rare you see a good contracting firm that has a good team of business people behind it, you know, which makes it grow.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, my hat's off to you for that, because looking at my notes, you've done an incredible number of work since you started. How long have you been in business?
We've been Reno Contracting. We're going in our 21st year, and actually I started about 4 years earlier with Matt Reno, who was the founder. So we've been together about 25 years, and honestly, as crazy as it sounds, we've never exchanged a crossword.
Wow, that is
We've had
crazy.
different opinions, but we've been a really good partnership. Very, very different personalities, but that kind of works because ethically and philosophy-wise, we share the same moral values. So it's been really good.
Yeah. Now, were you president, COO, and corporate officer from the beginning? Or,
oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no. How did started as estimator and project manager back in 1989. A little green behind the ears. Actually, I got hurt in '85. I started in trades in 1985. I got hurt after I came back from West Africa. As a superintendent, I went back to school for a couple of years. I missed work. I thought it was all over, and it was just the start of another chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I noticed on your card, Walter, the lead designation.
Yes, sir.
That's very interesting. I wonder if you could tell us about that.
Well, lead is really it's leadership and energy in the environment. It's sustainability. It's really trying to make our environment and our world a better place for our kids, for our grandkids. It's the right thing to do. When it came out, we were pretty early adapters of it. It takes a while to change the mindset within a company or just within ourselves. And having done that, it just seemed it made sense to me to get the certification as a way of leadership within the company and to make a statement outside of the company that it's really a big belief of mine. About 5 or 4 years ago, we started Reno ESP, Efficient Sustainable Practices, which ties into that. Every one of the jobs that comes in pre-construction and estimating, we evaluate it. Are we doing everything we can here to make the sustainable building? Are we doing everything to make it energy efficient? Once we make it energy efficient, we look at it for solar energy. We've done an awful lot of solar. So, and for the first time I heard the term bleeding edge. I think we were a bit on the bleeding edge of that. We were really out ahead of it. But the end result is that we not only branded ourselves well for doing sustainable work and being experts in that. We got ahead of the pack a bit. We got some traction and got ahead. Very, very competitive business that we're in. And I often have said that we continue to walk towards the light. The energy is the right way to go. The path sometimes is a little bit confusing. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. Right, and you say it's interesting because you say you like it to be a collaborative effort. I mean, do you oftentimes find roadblocks or challenges when you're collaborating and you've got this philosophy about sustainability that oftentimes isn't the most cost effective or the least expensive option for building?
Well, I think if it would have all taken root in 2004 or 5, it would have been light years ahead of what it is today. I think there still are probably some people that believe it can be done at no cost, that we will enter this new sustainable economy at no cost. I don't believe that to be true. But money being so tight, certainly that's been a roadblock. But you also have to educate people before you can sell them. Mm-hmm. And so to educate them to look a little differently at these capital outlays initially for the long-term payback. And that is, plus, you lower the operating cost of your building, you raise the value of the asset. Mm-hmm. So we just need to change the mindset. And there are regulations, of course, in California, but there's regulations with AB 1103 that makes it necessary if you're going to sell or lease a building that you have to be transparent. Here's how my building operates. Here's what it costs a month to operate. Here's my Energy Star rating on my building. It is going to have, the result will be there'll be very, very sophisticated buyers out there. Mm-hmm. And you're going to have to tell them how your building operates.
Yeah.
They're going to shop for one that's efficient.
You can't sell it and forget it. You've built it. You're on the hook for the long term.
Yes.
So, that's the quality that goes into this. And you know what? And I'm going to shift gears real quick mm-hmm. and thank you because, Reno is one of our good employers in town. You help out a lot of people, keeping them working in an environment that is not friendly to building. So.
Well, when we started into this downturn, I pulled the project managers together and said, listen, we've got some tough years ahead of us. We've got to do business in the tough times just like we did them in the good. You have to come out with your reputation intact. At the end of the day, that's all you have. And we've been fortunate and we've worked very hard to have a good, great reputation. So we've been called the Nordstrom of the Army, which great. I don't know who said that.
And who doesn't love Nordstrom?
It's true. Yes. It's true. So you're listening to Close Up on Standing Good Business here on KFSD AM 1450 and financialnewsandtalk.com. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-host, Andrea Kay and Al Arias. And our guest is Walt Fegley from Reno Contracting. So I see an impressive number down here. How much in 20 years you've done close to $2 billion in projects? Is that a correct number?
Yeah,
that's with
correct.
A B.
Pardon me, with a B. And I've got to say, for our 20th anniversary, I put a video and things together, and I had to add up the numbers. I was as surprised as you are. I got to say, I didn't realize it was that big of a number. And 80% of that is with 20% of the customers. Mm. I mean, for the beginning, the focus was, look, let's develop a customer. Let's treat them right. Let's get in early. I still think the best value is when you hire the architect, get a good contractor. Design something that's buildable, that is the best details. You've got the best value, and get started on time and be within a budget. And that's we've done that very, very well over the years, and as a result, people coming back.
Yeah, well, it's like you said before the show. You say you measure success by the ability to enhance relationships, and if you've amassed $2 billion worth of business from the same 20%, that says it all right there.
Well, and we've also been recognized. It's at least 15 or 16 years by the American Subcontractors Association. We've been nominated as General Contractor of the Year. There's only 3 nominated in our class, and we've won that 5 or 6 times. I think you can learn a lot about someone when you talk to the people that work for them. Mm-hmm. And so the relationships include the subcontracting community. Why wouldn't we? Mm-hmm. We bring them out to actually do the building of these projects. We schedule them right, we pay them promptly, and the award is based on fair business practices. That's how I live my life. That's how we live our lives. So It's great.
Any projects in process right now you want to tell us about?
Boy, we've just finished up an office building up in Temecula for the for ranch development, Bernie Truax, and it has been one of the few office buildings that have come up lately. We've been doing an awful lot of tenant improvement, and the biggest thing probably that has taken off over these last few years has been the solar energy. We've got a young fella, Eric Scheidlinger, who is leading the way on that. Um, that has probably made up 30 or 35% of our volume over the last couple of years. So we're delighted with that. We continue to try to grow it. Frankly, it's quite a bit easier than a high-rise building.
Yeah. I bet. Have you ever been up on one of those where you're up on the beams and
Yeah.
really? How
It
high
all
up have you
started
been?
that way. It
What's
all
the,
started that way.
yeah, what's the highest you think you've ever been up? I'm just like fascinated. I saw a guy up on with no wire, like 4 stories up recently. I was
Now,
like, what?
I've not climbed steel like you'll see the pictures in New York, and I'll be very frank with you. I don't like it up there.
Thank
It's
you for
much
your
easier.
honesty. I wouldn't
It's
either.
much easier to walk on a 2x4 that's on the ground than up 6 stories in the air. It's the same 2x4, but I got to tell you, there's more. There's more than meets the eye there.
It's got to be pretty windy up there, especially in New
It
York.
is.
You're
It
100
is.
stories up.
It is. I think the people that you see, the iron workers that you see on these high-rise buildings, it's in their blood. They're wired that
They're
way,
crazy
and
guys.
they start. I don't
They're
know.
awesome.
They
God
can't be
bless
too
them.
crazy, or they
Well, that's
wouldn't make it to
true.
30. I mean, it's dangerous business.
Yeah.
What we do is dangerous.
Well, God love them.
Safety's
We wouldn't have
foremost.
all these great buildings if not for those guys.
I love the industry. We build the world, and I think we're known as builders.
Yeah. Well, before we run out of time, tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you if they want more information about Reno Contracting.
Certainly. renocon.com on the internet. We have a new branding done. We've updated our logo, and we have a really nice website. You can give a call over at the office, 619-220-0224. Everybody in our company is by the first initial last name at renocon.com, so WFEGLEY at renocon.com. Or come by the office. Love to buy you a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's
That'd
nice.
be great.
Wonderful.
And one thing I want to make note of before we finish up on this segment is Walt was telling us off air that there are 12 large builders, and you're number 10 out of 12. Is that what was it?
I think we were 11 or 12, and I think the point I was trying to make is the pressure of the large national or multi-state regional builders in town with the limited amount of work there is.
But
we're local.
But of the top 12, you're the only local one.
Yeah, Harper is the other one. They primarily do military.
Right.
Wow.
All good contractors.
Yeah.
But you've
that
got
says
to
an
keep
awful
local.
lot about you and business and how you run a business.
Well,
And my hat's off to you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
It's one last thing. Can I?
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
there time? In 2009, AGC, Associated General Contractors, awarded us the General Building Contractor of the Year. And to go up and take that award was a thrill of a lifetime because I'm honored to be part of the AGC and the business that I'm in. This year, we won the Construction Industry Excellence Award.
Wow.
Wow.
And this was given for high level of ethics and above the norm of support of the AGC, the industry, and the community. That was so significant, especially in these times.
Yeah.
There's certainly easier ways to make money.
Yeah.
But it certainly isn't anything we're ever going to choose.
Well, if
proud of
if being a building contractor was easy, I'd have stayed with it many, many years ago.
Well, it just shows how smart you are.
Well, thanks for being with us, Walt.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business, where we get up close and personal with San Diego businesses and the people that are making a difference in our community. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. This is FinancialNewsAndTalk.com. We'll be right back after the break with our next guest on Close Up on San Diego Business.